Two leaders, two visions for the Horn of Africa. In 2018, millions across the Horn of Africa celebrated what many believed was the beginning of a new era. After 2 decades of hostility between Ethiopia and Eritrea, Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and Eritrean President Isaias Afwerki announced peace. Borders reopened. Flights resumed. Families separated for years reunited. The world applauded. Abiy Ahmed received the Nobel Peace Prize. But only a few years later, relations appeared far more complicated. The Tigray conflict, regional security concerns, and Ethiopia's renewed calls for reliable access to the sea have changed the political landscape. Today, these two leaders remain among the most influential figures in the Horn of Africa. But who are they? How did their relationship evolve? Where do their visions overlap? And where do they differ? This is the story of two leaders whose decisions continue to shape the future of the region. Although they now lead neighboring countries, their paths to power were very different. Isaias Afwerki became involved in the Eritrean liberation struggle during the 1960s. Over 3 decades of war, he emerged as one of the movement's principal leaders. When Eritrea gained independence in 1993, he became the country's first president and has remained in office ever since. Abiy Ahmed's path was shaped by Ethiopia's federal political system. He served in the military, worked in intelligence and communications, entered politics through the ruling coalition, and became prime minister in 2018 following years of political unrest and public protests. One leader was forged through a long-armed struggle. The other emerged through political change within an existing state. Those different experiences continue to influence how each approaches leadership and regional affairs. Supporters of Abiy Ahmed often point to his emphasis on economic reform, infrastructure development, and efforts to expand Ethiopia's regional influence. During his tenure, projects such as new airports, industrial development, and transport initiatives have featured prominently in government plans. Supporters of Isaias Afwerki often emphasize Eritrea's focus on sovereignty, self-reliance, and national security, arguing that these priorities have helped preserve the country's independence in a volatile region. Critics of both leaders raise different concerns. Critics of Abiy Ahmed have questioned aspects of governance, conflict management, and political freedoms. Critics of Isaias Afwerki have raised concerns about political pluralism, civil liberties, and the country's system of indefinite national service. These differing perspectives are central to how each leader is viewed both domestically and internationally. One of the defining moments in modern Horn of Africa history came in July 2018. Abiy Ahmed traveled to Asmara. The two leaders signed a peace declaration, formally ending years of no war, no peace. Telephone lines were restored. Commercial flights resumed. The border reopened for a period. For many families divided since the Ethiopia-Eritrea war, it was an emotional reunion. International observers welcomed the agreement as a major diplomatic breakthrough. Yet some key issues, including border implementation and long-term political arrangements, remained unresolved, leaving questions about the durability of the rapprochement. In late 2020, conflict erupted between the Ethiopian federal government and the Tigray People's Liberation Front. The war became one of Africa's most devastating recent conflicts. International organizations documented severe humanitarian consequences, including displacement, food insecurity, and allegations of serious human rights abuses by multiple parties. Eritrean forces became involved in the conflict, a role that was widely reported and later publicly acknowledged by Eritrean officials. The conflict reshaped regional politics. Although Ethiopia and Eritrea remained aligned on some security issues during the war, the broader political environment became increasingly complex. A peace agreement signed in Pretoria in 2022 ended large-scale fighting between the Ethiopian government and the TPLF. But regional dynamics continued to evolve. Today, one issue increasingly shapes regional debate: Ethiopia's access to the sea. Since Eritrea's independence, Ethiopia has been landlocked. Most of its international trade moves through the port of Djibouti. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has repeatedly argued that reliable maritime access is important for Ethiopia's long-term economic future, and has said he prefers peaceful, negotiated solutions. These remarks have generated significant discussion across the region. Eritrean officials have consistently emphasized the country's sovereignty and territorial integrity, while stressing that any regional cooperation must respect internationally recognized borders. The debate illustrates how geography, economics, and security remain closely connected in the Horn of Africa. Both Ethiopia and Eritrea face significant opportunities and challenges. Ethiopia is Africa's second most populous country and has pursued ambitious infrastructure and economic development projects. Eritrea occupies a strategic position along the Red Sea and continues to emphasize sovereignty, security, and self-reliance as central national priorities. Despite political differences, the two countries share history, culture, trade links, and deep human connections. Regional stability could bring benefits through expanded commerce, transport, tourism, and investment. At the same time, unresolved political issues and mutual security concerns continue to influence relations. It is easy to tell this story as a rivalry between two men. But the future of the Horn of Africa depends on far more than individual leaders. It depends on institutions, economic cooperation, regional diplomacy, and the aspirations of millions of Ethiopians and Eritreans who hope for stability, opportunity, and peace. Abiy Ahmed and Isaias Afwerki have each left a profound mark on the history of the region. Their decisions have influenced diplomacy, security, and development across the Horn of Africa. Whether future generations remember this era primarily for conflict, cooperation, or transformation will depend not only on political leaders, but also on the choices made by societies across the region. The story of Ethiopia and Eritrea is still being written, and its next chapter remains open. What do you think is the biggest challenge facing relations between Ethiopia and Eritrea today? Can the two countries build a future based on cooperation while respecting each other's sovereignty and interests? Share your thoughts respectfully in the comments. If you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more in-depth stories about Ethiopia, Eritrea, and the Horn of Africa. Thank you for watching.